right now we want to take an opportunity and welcome Dan Schreiner from the Trempealeau County Board of Supervisors and Kurt Berner of the Samuels Group to the studio. Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning. Good morning.
We're here to get a little update, I guess, on progress at the new government center. As Dan knows, being from town, there's a lot of people that do a little rubbernecking and want to see how things are going.
And we hear about it with regularity.
And again, it's been a fun time though for the community with the government center and the hospital both going up at once. There's been plenty to watch.
Yeah, definitely.
We have Kurt here who's kind of going to answer most of the questions, and I guess the biggest question people have is, are you on schedule?
We are on schedule. So we've always been targeting a late fall completion date.
Okay.
We're still targeting end of October. That's when we turn the building over to the owner. Now, because it is a secure facility, turning it over means that now we can start to do what we call shakedown or training. Because it's a jail, we have, from DOC guidelines, we have to turn that over to the sheriff and his staff, and they have to have several weeks to be able to have dry runs in the jail for obvious reasons, security purposes, training,
sure,
all those sorts of things. So the reality is, as to when the public will be able to occupy the space will be determined by the county once the training is done, but we're looking to turn it over to the sheriff and obviously other county members by the end of October.
And when you talk about that, I mean, it's not just like building another building and turning it over, if you want, as you say it, as you put it. But with a secure facility like this, there has to be a lot more that goes into it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of electronics and a lot of coordination between the courts and the jail. One of the main components of this facility is a secure connecting corridor from the housing right into the court piece. So until we get the jail shook down and that's operating and functioning, we won't be able to move the courts over because of the secure corridor. So all of them will go hand in hand.
Okay.
So
yeah. It's a very complex issue. From just the simple construction perspective, how have things gone?
Good. We've been able to overcome challenges. We've had some issues with long lead times on materials, which we've been able to mitigate. Also, the shortage of tradespeople has been a challenge, but we've been able to overcome that. The contractors that are on there have been working extremely hard, and we're moving along well.
This isn't a facility that went up in 6 months.
No.
So, I mean, this is and as you have as there's a longer term, construction like what you've been going through, there has been a fluctuation in cost, I'm sure, of materials as well as availability of materials. And so is that a different challenge when it's a longer term construction like this?
Yeah, long lead times is the main thing. Costs, we've been able to deal with that because everything was hard bid. So we've been able to mitigate those costs. But the lead times have been a challenge to be able to get the right dates and then get commitments from vendors that will be able to hit those dates. But so far, everything looks to be on schedule.
Again, we're with Dan Schreiner from the Trempealeau County Board of Supervisors and Kurt Berner from the Samuels Group as we're talking about the new facility. And again, Dan, from the perspective, we've talked a little bit about this, mostly from the security in the jail and the court issues, but there will be a lot of other things that have to go into this with, other departments moving and then moving to where they're, after the other movements. So there is a lot to this in addition to just the jail and the courthouse.
Correct. Currently, we're working diligently on the remodel of the existing facility. Once the offices that go to the new criminal justice center are moved. So we're still getting input from department heads and employees, and we're going with that.
Yeah. Is that something that you're able to do kind of at the same time as this is going on?
Well, planning.
Yeah, the planning parts of it.
We can't start really with the remodel until the offices that are moving to the new spot are moved.
Yeah, and there will be a lot to do after this is done even and stuff like that. As we get now heading into spring, Kurt, are things moving faster or is it still just a fairly steady pace?
Oh, steady pace. You're going to start seeing the exterior work will start coming together. So you see the exterior brick will start going on and all those sorts of things. So inside the building, you can't see it from the street, those that are rubbernecking, so to speak, but there's actually paint being put on the walls and drywalls being hung. So progress is moving along very well inside. So.
And again, do you find, I mean, you do this isn't the only building you work on.
Correct.
So you know what I mean? So as you look around the country even, this is a pretty normal, it's been a pretty normal build, I guess?
Yeah, it's been a good build. Yep.
And that's terrific. And again, you're saying maybe an October move of the court and the jail system, and then.
Well, that's when we turn it over. When we start to occupy it, will be after that. Once the training and the shakedown is done. So the exact date will be something we'll roll out here with the county. So
yeah, and maybe we can talk to you guys again later in the year here as you get a little closer to that. But when people hear that, Dan, yeah, they get very excited and they're really looking forward to this. A lot of people are, right?
Oh, yeah. Yep. It will be nice. Well, currently there's a lot of activity, all the construction workers, employees. Mm-hmm. Well, one of the things we hear about frequently is the lack of parking.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, a legitimate kind of concern or, a bit, but it's part of what's going on, I think, right now too, with both the hospital and the county.
Correct. How many other cities of 1,600 have two major construction projects going on at the same time?
And as I tell people about this here, the government center specifically, this is sort of a once-in-a-lifetime build, right? I mean, this is the type of thing that you're not going to address again for decades.
Correct.
And so that makes it kind of, I mean, let's get it done right,
I guess the parking, just to elaborate on that, if people are dealing with parking struggles right now, it will get better. We're averaging between 75 to 100 tradespeople on site, so think about those vehicles leaving your community once it's completed. So and obviously we'll be opening up that parking space in the courtyard of the new building. So yeah, it'll get better.
Well, as Dan knows, I live right between the courthouse and the club and the hospital, and so I mean, I goofed up at the beginning. I should have been renting my driveway out, like Saturdays at a Badgers game,
like they do at Lambeau Field.
Yeah, I should have. From the very start, I should have been doing it, but no. And it's been mitigated. Again, we've had plenty of snow, which makes it even more challenging. And we can all complain about it, but it is part of what's going on, and it's good news to hear that it's going to get better. Hey, I know you guys have a meeting here at 8:00, so thanks for joining us and helping us get caught up on this. We really appreciate it. And again, we'll try and talk with you again as the year moves on, and we can get closer to a date.
All right, thanks for having us.
You bet. Dan Schreiner from the Trempealeau County Board of Supervisors and Kurt Berner from the Samuels Group. We'll be back with